acknowledges that it's located on the traditional lands of the Ice, Appalachee, Calusa, Timucua, and Tocobaga tribes, as well as the Seminole tribe of Florida and the Miccosukee tribe of Indians of Florida. Roll call and verification of quorum. Chair Gaudia.
Paul. Reed.
Present.
Olivia Smith.
Present.
Hagenbuch.
Present.
Casimiro.
Present.
Callis. Ariza. Cabanos.
Present.
Lim. Pison. Sadvika. Jane. Sherman.
Present.
Danae Smith.
Present.
Ali. Hamid.
Present.
Kaufman.
Present.
Licht.
Present.
Rose. El Hrak.
Present.
Fawcett. Riggett.
Present.
Escobar.
Present.
Magadia.
Present.
Rodriguez.
Present.
Wanjan. Hassanein.
Present.
Phillips.
Present.
Wynn.
Present.
Habgood.
Present.
Bonaventure. Perez.
Present.
Alcura.
Present.
Banesh. Candeloro. Quartz.
Present.
Jones.
Present.
Leon. Matthews.
Present.
McRae. Nurse Medevra.
Present.
Brenda.
Present.
Leiva Gonzalez. Simmons.
Present.
Teodorescu.
Present.
Varela.
Present.
Zivin.
Present.
Lipner. 37 out of 50.
All right, everyone take a look at last meeting's minutes. Is there a motion to approve last meeting's minutes? And then today's agenda, everyone take a look. Is there a motion to approve today's agenda? All right, and then Senator Gentile. Okay, Senator Gentile, present and voting, so noted at 7:05 p.m. I will fix that. And then open forum, we have Dr. German, the Dean of the College of Medicine, whenever you would like to come up.
Well, I think most of you have probably heard me speak already. In the last couple of weeks, I did the AMWA group, the AMS, and now our Senate. So first let me thank you for the invitation. I'm very happy to be here. And as I understand it, my task today is to share information with all of you about the College of Medicine and our Lake Nona project. Is that right? Okay, and I see many students here, and as I understand it, you are from all of the colleges in Seattle. All right, well, I know that some of you will be more interested in this than others, but I'll try to make it interesting. But I can do it. Oh, that's the mic. Okay. All right. So we're going to start with this picture. I think I may be old enough to be all of your grandmother or maybe even a great grandmother. I'm not sure. But the picture that you see there on the left is a picture of Lake Nona in 2007 when I started working on this project. And as you can see, have any of you driven down 417 and seen the Lake Nona exit? Okay, when I came, there was no exit, no Lake Nona exit. And our university wanted to build a medical school and had just received approval. I was a mother and a doctor, and I had been a dean at Duke Medical School at Vanderbilt and a hospital CEO. And my youngest daughter was on her way to college, and my husband had died of cancer. So I'm just framing this for you. I was trying to decide what to do next, because when you go from having your whole family with you to, I felt the way I bet some of you feel. The day that I left home to go to college, I had this feeling of freedom. Any of you have that feeling? Okay. And I had that same feeling, only it was at the other end of my life, that, okay, now I'm free. I can do whatever I want. There's nobody who needs me, who I need at this moment. And so I decided it was time to have a great adventure. And I always show this slide because that first picture of brown dirt, I fell in love with it. What I saw there was 7,000 acres of land that wanted to become a medical city, but didn't really know how, because they'd been trying for 4 years and failed. And just so you know, if you want to build a shopping mall, you have to have an anchor tenant first, the Macy's or the big store. Well, in a medical city, the big store is the medical school. So when I saw that, the thing that attracted me the most is what you see in the upper left-hand corner. Do you see a bunch of white stripes there? Okay, I see some heads nodding. Those are runways. That's the Orlando International Airport, the busiest tourist airport in the nation. And I asked myself, where else in this country will you find 7,000 acres of land with nothing on it immediately adjacent to the busiest airport? I thought this was a once in a lifetime opportunity. So I came, and when I arrived, I told people that my plan was to build this century's premier medical school, one that would anchor a new medical city. And by the end of this century, we're not there yet, we still have a ways to go, we would be globally relevant, a global destination for research, patient care, and medical education. So that's why I start every talk with that slide. The next slide, stay there. The next picture shows you that we've grown and we have attracted a lot of things. And as I go through the talk, we'll talk about it. Next slide, please. All right. I like to refer to this as my accountability slide. And one day, if you ever arrive in a new community and start making promises, remember, you have to keep your promises. And when I'm talking to people, I like to say, okay, we've done some things. I haven't been sitting around eating chocolates and watching YouTube all day. We started, I had a 10 by 12 foot office. It was in Milliken Hall. And I was the only College of Medicine person. And we had this idea that I just shared with you. And just to get to the punchline, right now, you can see we have a lot of square footage, a lot of buildings. We hired a lot of faculty and staff, and we have volunteer and affiliated faculty. Medical schools do that. We've graduated more than 1,000 MDs. And in addition to the MD program, we built what we call graduate medical education. If you've ever watched TV, you know that when doctors graduate from medical school, they do something called internships, residencies, and fellowships. And that's when they choose their specialty. In medical school, they learn everything. And then if you want to be a pediatrician, you learn that in your residency. We give them the foundation. So we built 46 residency and fellowship programs, and we currently have 720 training. You can see that we brought in research dollars. We see about 44,000 patients a year in our clinics. And at the very bottom, you'll see that we built a hospital and a cancer center. And just recently, we got a mobile clinic, and that will help us deliver care to the underserved and to the homeless. So we're trying to build something that will allow us to take care of everyone. Next slide. All right. And most people don't know this. When you think about a medical school, what you think about is a place where people go to learn how to be a doctor, right? It's a school. It's an education place. But unlike all the other colleges, a medical school has to do research and has to run a business of providing care to patients. Because if you're in medical school and you don't learn about research and you graduate and you don't understand how new knowledge is generated, probably after about 5 or 10 years, you're going to be completely out of date because you have to keep up. Maybe AI will help us with that. And you also, so you need to engage in and understand research. And our faculty, you know, if you're in a law school, your professors teach law, they don't practice it. And I think it's true. Some of you may be in the business school. I think people teach business, they don't practice it. But at a medical school, if you're teaching medicine and you are no longer practicing, same thing happens. After a few years, you're rusty and you're out of date. So in addition to building the school part of the medical school, we've had to build and have built a research enterprise in the practice and the hospitals. And because UCF is scrappy and we have very little resources, we do more with less. We've done most of those things with partnerships. When people ask me, what does a founding dean do? What is your job? Sometimes I answer that I have to know how to do two things. One is I have to know how to dream out loud. I have to dream about a hospital. I have to dream about a cancer center, dream about having a college of nursing right next to the College of Medicine. So I dream out loud. The other skill, I call it OPM, other people's money, right? You have to find the partner who's going to come to you and bring other people's money. And so for those of you who are at the business school, we can use your help. Okay, let's go on. This just shows you that our medical school is not just the MD students. If you start at the top, some of you are in the Burnett School of Biomedical Sciences. That is a unit within the medical school, and we're unusual. Most medical schools don't have that. But I thought it would be very good because our undergraduate students would have a connection to the medical school. And when they apply to medical school, they'll have, for example, my speaking to AMSA and meeting with our senators who are in the undergraduate program gives them something extra that students who are in schools where the medical school is separate or it doesn't exist, those students don't get. So we have undergraduates, we have master's students, PhD students, 120 medical students in each class. It's 4 years, so 480. And I've already mentioned post, we call it GME, graduate medical education, when they do their internships and residencies and fellowships. And so close to 4,000 students. Let's go on. All right, this is the slide that you should be asking me about, the community should be asking me about. Dr. German, you said when you came here, you were going to build this century's premier medical school. And there are now 160 medical schools accredited in the US. Somebody has to be the worst of those 160. Are you any good? So how do you measure if you're any good? Like I said, you have to be accountable when you come and do this sort of work. Well, this shows you from the very beginning, our students and national scores on the United States medical licensing exam. Every medical student in the entire US takes this exam, and it comes in two parts. The first part is basic science. The second part is clinical. The white bars are the national average for each year. The gold bars are our class average. Pretty good, huh? So I showed this to my friend who's the dean at Harvard, and he looked at me and he said, Deb, your students compare favorably to ours. Now, I don't know exactly what that means, but I like to think that maybe we're in the top 10. They don't rank us because they don't want us to get all competitive. But I like competition. I think it's kind of fun. But here we are. Oh, and by the way, I have shown this to all the other Florida medical school deans. I chair the Council of Florida Medical School Deans, and they all tell me their scores look just like this, but never has any of them been willing to actually show me their data. So again, Who knows? They may be better. I'm not saying they're not, but I want you to know that you have a good medical school. I won't say it's the best, but I think from that data, we could all agree that it's good. Okay. This is just a map to show you the distribution of our graduate medical education programs. And you can see the map of Florida, Pensacola, Fort Walton, Tallahassee, Gainesville, Ocala, and then generally the Orlando area. So we're spread out. It's good to be spread out because we're taking care of the state and we're allowing our students to have a variety of different experiences. Next slide. And this just shows you in a way that you can read the disciplines that we've created. So you can see everything from anesthesia to vascular surgery. And we don't have everything. And I'm told that by next year, we'll be up to 830 and we'll have over almost 50, more than 50 training programs. So we keep building and it's really quite a lot of fun. Next one. I want to give you a sense of our research portfolio. And these are, I'm not going to read them all, but these are all the areas in which we have teams of faculty doing research. The first one, aerospace, is one of our newest ones. And of course, we are Space U. And as soon as President Cartwright arrived and created a new vision for the university that we be the premier engineering and technology university, the medical school said, how can we contribute to that? And aerospace medicine became one of the ways. Most of the things that we do research in are highly bound to technology. All the biomedical sciences either use technology or create new technology for diagnostic and therapeutic dealing with patients' problems. Okay. This is a little picture of the two sites where we have our faculty practice. The one in the middle, called UCF Health Quadrangle, will look familiar to you. It's over there by Racetrack. And we have one in Lake Nona, that's the Gateway, and you see a picture of our new mobile health clinic. And these are the specialties that are offered in our clinic. Okay. One of the things that is unique, when I built the medical school, I wanted it to be state of the art. So we built an anatomy lab, and the top picture is a picture taken in our anatomy lab. And at the time, most medical schools just dissected cadavers, and the students learned the names and orientation of all the body parts. We changed the paradigm. We made a deal with Apple, and they created a new kind of computer for us that students who are in the middle of dissection can touch, and it's antiseptic, and it takes them out onto the internet. We also did total body CT scans on all of our cadavers so that our students could not only learn to name and identify the body parts, but so that they could learn imaging on their cadaver from the very beginning. And there's even more to it than that. What we're thinking about now, and I've got the names of 5 different CEOs that I need to call. You have all heard about robotic surgery, right? Well, think about it. If you were a medical student and you're learning anatomy, that's fantastic, because when you go into the OR and you're going to remove someone's appendix, you're going to have to do the same thing that you do in an anatomy lab when you're learning. But what if you were going to do it robotically? You would never see the tissue that way. What you would see is a screen, and you'd be moving the little robot arms. If you haven't ever played with a Da Vinci robot, it really is fun. And you would be doing your work not by looking at the real thing, but by looking at the screen. So one of my new endeavors is to get a Da Vinci robot, or one of the newer models that's made by other companies, into our anatomy lab so that our students can have both experiences. And as far as I know, there aren't any other medical schools that do that. So I'm sharing this with you just so that you will know there are ways to get things done when you don't have any money, but you have a lot of desire to move the needle, to move things forward. And we've been very lucky. I'm surrounded by a team of very motivated and inspirational people. And you'll see when I end my talk what I mean by that. Let's keep going. So this is a little bit about aerospace medicine. The vision is to become a global academic leader in aerospace medicine. And you might say, aerospace medicine? Are you crazy? We've got enough problems down here on Earth. Why would you spend time and money on aerospace? That's what I thought when I came here. But what I've learned from the people who do this work is that, for one thing, our bodies age 10 times faster in space. And a lot of the research that we need to do to stay healthy is to understand the effects of aging, right? And figure out how to kind of stop it or slow it down. And we can do that kind of research and get results 10 times faster, because the aging process is it speeds up there. So that's one of the reasons to do it. And the other reason is extreme environments. Okay. So for example, telehealth was born out of the necessity that sending people to outer space created when we had to take care of people that were in an extreme environment. And I have a surgeon right now who is using the robot here in Orlando to do surgery on patients in Africa. And again, you might say, why? Well, the why is there are people on the other end who are learning. So not only is he doing surgery on patients in Africa, he's got a team of doctors who are learning how to do surgery and teaching across the globe. So this is a great opportunity, especially for Space U. Okay, let's keep going. The other thing that we're doing that's new, I wanted to bring in a few new things for you, and it'll launch in fall of 2028, is the MPH degree. This is a great degree for almost anybody who has studied something and then wants to get a master's degree. It's going to be 2 years, 5 semesters. We can mix it with the MD if students are interested, but it will be a standalone degree. If you think you might be interested, scan the QR code. And they have asked me to ask you all to do it anyway, because they have questions. There's a questionnaire there, and they're trying to get a sense of what students might be interested in. So if you wouldn't mind helping out our faculty, and then when you get a moment, answer some questions for Dr. Scrimshaw. I promised him I would do that. Okay, looks like most of the phones are down. Let's move on. All right, so I came here not just to build a medical school. You heard that I wanted to build a medical city, right? The school was going to anchor a medical city. And when we do that, what we really create is something called an academic health sciences center. And to be one of those, you need these 3 ingredients: a college of medicine, another degree granting program. We have nursing and CHIPS, and 1 or more owned or affiliated teaching hospitals. And I just wanted to let you know that on the day that the Board of Governors approved us to build the Lake Nona Hospital, I got a call from Washington asking me if I would serve on the AAHC board. And I was a little confused. And I said, well, you know, I would be happy to serve, but we don't have a hospital. We just got it approved today. It's going to take a couple of years to build it and get patients. And they said the most wonderful thing. They said, we've been watching this. We've been watching your project, and we think you are the future. Not me, you, UCF, are the future. And we want you on our board. So I served on the board. Our hospital's 5 years old. I served on the board. I chaired the board, and I just went off the board. But that's the kind of attention our little project is getting. I also was asked by the VA, the secretary of the VA, to serve on the National Academic Affiliations Committee, which reports up to the secretary, who reports to the president. And I'm now chairing that. So just remember this: if you do something and you get it done, people will ask you to do more. The reward for work is more work. Did you know that, right? Okay. If you like to work, it's lovely. If you don't like to work, well, I don't know. These are just pictures of our two, other than the College of Medicine. College of Nursing opened this past fall on our campus. College of Health Professions is right here. Much of the College of Health Professions, just like the Burnett School of Biomedical Sciences, will always be on this campus because of all the things that students, undergraduate students, can do here. But one day, some of its graduate programs will come to Lake Nona when we talk about that. And that's just a picture of our hospital and our cancer center. I won't go into too much detail there. All right. So this is a picture of our emerging academic health science center. And if you start on the far left, you can see the cancer center, and then you see the hospital. And then in the middle, there's this little square that has all of the educational programs. I call that our educational core. And then the VA is our partner, and the people who work at the VA teach our medical students. They are our faculty. And Nemours Children's Health is our Department of Pediatrics. What I asked my team to do is to get a drone. Let me make sure that I'm in the right spot. To get a drone, yes, and to start it at the cancer center on the far left, and to fly it over the hospital, and then hover over the central box where you see all of the educational programs. And then can you see sort of a brown patch of land that's just on top of the VA? Well, we own that. And so what I asked them to do was to fly it so that you could look at that. And what I'm going to do is show you what's coming. And this is, remember I said my job is to dream out loud? When I say I'm going to show you what's coming, I'm showing you a dream. So I don't want you to leave here and tell everybody that we're building all these things. And why do we have money to build all these things when we don't have money for whatever scholarships and whatever each of you would like? We don't. But this is the dream. This is part of dreaming out loud. And that's how we get the money, because someone will partner with us. So let's go to the next slide. And you have to push on that little button in the corner. Nope. Oh, it's a video. Oh, is it not working as a video? Oh, that would be just too bad. Go to the next slide. Now in the bottom, do you have a little, let me see if I can help. Okay, well, I'm going to have to do it without the video. So if you will move to the next slide. I end with this slide, but let me tell you what you would have seen on that other slide. You would have seen a new bed tower on our hospital, okay, 500 beds, which will come. We're already talking about that. And then you would see the College of Nursing, College of Health Professions, maybe a College of Dentistry, right? You might see an aerospace center. You might see a center for infectious disease, and you might see a center for cardiac care, for neurosciences. Pick your favorite, anything you want. And the thing I really would love to see built today is a residence hall or student housing, because we it's getting expensive to live in Lake Nona. And what I'd really like is for our students to not have to drive, tolls, gas. And if you could live right there and we could make it inexpensive and just, walking. And there's enough there now. There are some restaurants and there's, fun things to do. I think you could have a very nice time living there. So I've been talking to the president about that, and I've got a couple of people who are interested in that. So that's what you would have seen. I end every talk with this slide, and there's a video after this where I take you to a party, but the video isn't going to work. So I'm just going to end with this slide and tell you the story. Twice in our history, once when we opened the building, and then on our 10th year anniversary, we wanted to have a party to invite all of our donors and faculty and community members in to say thank you and to show them what we do. Now, most businesses and universities will go to a big hotel ballroom, have a dinner, everybody sits around, eats food, and we talk about how great we are. And that's how they do it. I did not want to do that because I wanted our community to learn about us and to see what a medical school is and how we train the students. So I said to my team, let's have an open house. And we'll have our students in all the places, showing them the anatomy lab, showing them clinical skills, showing them microscopy. But the only problem with an open house is you always want it to end like at midnight. And there's always those people who want to stay till 2 a.m. and you really wish they would go home. Have you ever had that happen? So I said, let's take a page out of the books from the theme parks and we'll have fireworks. And everybody will go outside to see the fireworks and we'll say goodnight. Well, do you remember that slide I showed you with the white stripes in the corner? Those are runways. And I can tell you that our College of Medicine building is on the direct flight path of the busiest runway at Orlando International Airport. So my team informed me, Dr. German, we can't have fireworks. We'll be shooting down airplanes. We're not allowed to do that. And I was disappointed. And do you remember earlier I told you that I have great people around me and magic. I didn't use the word magic, but it's true. Magic happens every day. Well, I was disappointed. The next thing I knew, and I have no idea who did it or how they did it, the police department, the fire department, the airport authority, and the FAA, that's federal, all got together. They diverted flights from that runway for 3 hours so we could have our party. Disney donated the fireworks and we made $250,000 on the party because people were giving us money because they were so happy. So there's a little bit of a story here. There's a little bit of a lesson. Just go to the next slide and see if it works. Is there any video there? It would be so much fun to take you to the party because you'd get to see the actual fireworks and everything. Well, if we ever do this again, we'll figure that out. And some of you have already seen it. But I think for me, the lesson here is involve everybody in what you do and invite people to come and make a piece of it their own. Okay? Don't be too controlling. Now, if somebody messes up, you've got to be honest and say, look, that's no good. But you do it nicely and you let them try again. So there is greatness in everyone, and everyone just needs to be in the right opportunity, be given the right opportunity to thrive. And I think that I have been very, very fortunate to be surrounded by people whose greatness has been realized, and hopefully that will continue. So I'm going to stop here. Thank you for your attention. I can't believe you're not all on your phones. This is you've been very respectful and I appreciate it.
Announcements from the student body president given by AG Altoona. And then are you just going to get everyone listed?
Hello, everyone. So I'll be giving all the announcements today. From President Blanco, she says, "Good evening, Senate. I apologize I'm not there. Not a lot from me, just that tomorrow at 9 a.m. in the Pegasus Ballroom, the university will be holding a State of the University address with President Cartwright and Provost Bookwalter. If you have any questions about that, please send me a message on Teams. That's all from me." Vice President Benitez says, "Good evening, Senate." Sorry, I could not be there tonight. This week, Digital Media Coordinator Parra put on a night shot at the Reflection Pond, which received incredible turnout and amazing feedback from the new location. Over the weekend, the Chief of Staff, Soraya Pearson, suffered an injury that is needing surgery. She will be out of the office beginning tomorrow. So any communications requests, please forward them to the Vice President. Thank you all for being patient and wishing Soraya the best recovery. James says, or Comptroller Drinkwater says, "Good evening, Senators. I apologize for not being there today and hope you're all doing well. The SG Finance Office meeting has been moved to March 25th to better accommodate the office's schedule. The current CRT balance is now positive, which is great news, as the reversions came in as expected. The balance is $740.90 with a reversion rate of 2.13%. The FAO balance is $6,235 with 51 cents and a reversion rate of 1.85%. I hope you all have a restful weekend. Please let me know if you have any questions." And then for me, good evening, Senators. Not much. I have been working on finalizing an opinion request regarding Title VI, as well as supporting the Election Commission and candidates with statutory interpretations in preparation for the voting period. And thank you to Chair Lush for sending those statutory revisions and formatting revisions.
Any questions for the Attorney General? Seeing none, Senator Bonaventure.
President voting.
Sergeant at Arms Bonaventure is present and voting, so noted at 7:41 p.m. Thank you. Announcements from the Chief Justice Pizarro.
Good evening, Senate. This week, the Judicial Council has started to plan and organize for the hosting of USF's Supreme Court on March 27th. We are very excited about this collaboration, seeing that this will be the third year we engage with USF's team and discuss our similarities and differences as the two judicial bodies. Besides that, Associate Justices will begin conducting chapter visits to our Panhellenic sororities here at UCF to engage the Greek community in the services and opportunities that the Judicial Council provides. And lastly, a huge thank you to Digital Media Coordinator Para for helping our JAM committee with recording our promotional content. So keep an eye out for those reels on the SG Instagram.
Any questions for the Chief Justice? Chair Lipner.
President voting.
Chair Lipner, present and voting, so noted at 7:41 p.m. Any questions for the Chief Justice? Seeing none, thank you. Announcements from the Supervisor of Elections, Supervisor Collazo.
Hi, Senate. Next week is the voting period. Woo! Yay. This will be, I want to say, my fourth voting period, and my first time as being a commissioner, so it's very exciting. So anyways, the Election Commission is being excited to see the candidates and their teams campaign, watch students vote, and distribute all our merchandise. In addition to merchandise, the commission will be distributing Smoothie King each day of the voting period. The commission will be in its usual place on the SU patio, providing a polling station for students while also overseeing candidates remain outside of the 15-foot boundary of the tent as stated in statutes. Additionally, the commission will also be ensuring that all campaign aids are authorized and listed on the submitted list from the presidential tickets. I certified the final draft of the ballot alongside the student government advisor today. Since we are using ranked choice voting this election period, the commission will be providing a guide at the polling station, providing instructions on the ballot, and a school-wide email will be sent out tomorrow regarding ranked choice voting. I strongly encourage you all to read the instructions carefully, as if you don't record a first choice or rank them sequentially, your ballot will be invalid. And that in regards to ranked choice voting. As a reminder that the Constitution amendment that you all passed last semester is on the ballot. Election results will be announced on March 11th at 7:30 p.m. in the Student Union Atrium. Additionally, as is tradition, no one is permitted to be in SG office after 5 p.m. Except for the Election Commission, Student Government Advisor, and the Director of Office of Student Involvement. Please do not wait until the commissioner arrives at the office to wait to leave. And then lastly, Commissioner Mello does have the election merchandise that we are distributing outside of the t-shirt. So I do have a trivia question for you all. Whoever gets it right is going to receive the merchandise tonight. And of course, the Senate President will choose who gets to answer that question. But my trivia question for you all is, what is this year's election slogan?
Senator Hopgood.
Okay, is it catch a wave, cast your vote?
Yes.
Yes, that's
All right. And that's all for me. Thank you.
Any questions for the Supervisor of Elections? Chair Varela.
For the ranked choice voting systems, to clarify, is there an option to not rank a candidate, or must every candidate be ranked?
Yes, there is an option to not rank a candidate. We just asked that, like, for example, like you can't just like rank 1 and 3, like you can't skip the number 2, or if you don't rank a 1, it's also not going to count either, because the way like the statutes is written and how the system is created, the votes will be allocated and redistributed based on the number of how you rank the candidates. So 1, 2, and 3.
Chair Lippman.
Two, if I may.
Yes, you may.
First off, I know that there's been some discussion about using a 0 in the ranked choice voting. Can you provide some clarity about whether that will be used and how that will shake out?
Yes. So a 0 will indicate that you are not voting for that ticket. So for example, like if you only want to rank choice vote 2 tickets, you will put a 0 in the ticket that you are not ranked choice voting.
And your second question.
Yeah, and then I know there's also been some talks about some infographics for the ranked choice voting. Do you know if they could be posted or be available for the
Yes. So in regards to an infographic, it's not going to be posted on the media per se of student government. However, we are compensating for that through the student-wide email that I'm sending out tomorrow, which is Shane is doing on my behalf. But on the polling station in itself, like I said earlier in my announcements, there will be a ranked choice voting guide at the polling station. Also, ranked choice voting is explained on the ballot as well. It's just very important that students read the instructions, but ultimately at the end of the day, that it's not up to the commission. If they want to ignore the instructions, then we did our job.
Any other questions for the Supervisor of Elections? Seeing none, thank you. Caucus reports, Arab Caucus, Chair Alcuda.
Hello, Senate. We met last week to vote on sponsoring our proclamation, which was also submitted to recognize the month of Ramadan and our continued relationship with dining services on ensuring accommodations are made for students. Additionally, we brainstorm on ideas for events we plan to host come April as we celebrate National Arab American Heritage Month.
Any questions for the Arab Caucus Chair? Seeing none, Black Caucus, Chair Smith.
Hi everyone. So I didn't chair the meeting this week because I was under the weather, but our amazing vice chair did. So for our last meeting, we just went through the events that we hosted in February and discussed what we liked and ways we wanted to improve next time.
Any questions for the Black Caucus Chair? Seeing none, Disability Caucus, Chair Mello.
All right. Hey, Senate, we had no meeting this week because we were invited to table for Best Buddies Inclusion Week. Thank you if you guys stopped by our table. It was a lot of fun and it was a huge success. And then just looking forward, we're going to have one more meeting before the break to discuss any future plans.
Any questions for the Disability Caucus Chair? Seeing none, thank you. ICTC Chair Varela.
Hello, Senate. We met yesterday at our normal meeting time, which is 3 p.m. And we discussed some results from downtown tabling, as well as continue to discuss our initiatives with bus driver appreciation and potentially a initiative involving downtown RSS.
Any questions for the ICTC Chair? Seeing none, Latin Hispanic Caucus. Hi everyone, no surprise, I'm not here Thanks to some assistance from Chair Smith, we will be finalizing a date for our Latin Business Takeover event in April during our caucus meeting tomorrow, and begin conducting outreach to some organizations that we have been compiling. Have a great weekend and happy March. If you have any questions, reach out to the email on the agenda. Sustainability Caucus, Chair Lipner.
Hi, Senate. This week we met to further discuss plans for caucus purchases, composting campaigns, and finalize our schedule for the Sustainability Block Party, which is happening this Monday from noon to 3 p.m. at Trevor Colburn Lawn. So that's like by the fraternity statue area. So come join us and Jen Cleo at UCF for some free food, lemonade, and you can bring whatever cup you want to fill it up. It can be as big or as small as you want, and as often as you'd like. A thrifting swap shop, so bring any kind of like clothing that you don't want, and you can probably find something new that you'd like. A live performance from 1 to 2 p.m. and a guided yoga class from 2 to 3 p.m. So it'll just be a lot of fun, and there'll also be some tables with some information on how to get more involved with sustainability related things. So yeah, thank you.
Any questions for the Sustainability Caucus Chair? Seeing none, and as from the Senate President, good evening, Senate. I hope your weeks have all been well. The SLCers had a legislation workshop given by D-Leg Kaufman, and on Monday they will be having their mock Senate meeting. If you see them in the office, please be sure to chat with them and make them feel welcome. The Mental Health Fair is next week on Thursday on March 12th from 11 to 4, and I'll be making a Microsoft form for it so you guys can sign up. And I believe the problem with the presentation was that I couldn't download it, so I will put it in the agenda, and if you guys want to go to the party, you can download it and go to the party. Any questions for me? Seeing none, ELA report, ELA Reed.
All right. Well, I wanted to start off by saying thank you so much for your engagement when Dr. German was speaking. I hope you took something away from her presentation. She's super wonderful to talk to, so I'm so happy she could be here with us. This week, our dean meetings began, and they've been off to a great start. The College of Arts and Humanities, College of Medicine, College of Graduate Studies, and the College of Health Professions and Sciences all met with their deans and had very successful conversations. Thank you so much for Speaker Courts for filling in at the College of Graduate Studies dean meeting, as I had to go to Lake Nona for the College of Medicine dean meeting. If you are a new senator and not in your college team's group chat, please let me know so I can fix that. Thank you.
Any questions for the ELA? Seeing none. Pro temp report, pro temp meeting.
Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well. I'm glad to be back. But thank you to everyone who came to my career services presentation. I hope it helps you guys a lot. Also, big thank you to Career Services since they prioritized finishing their presentation just for us. Also, officially, all the clothes from last semester's donation drive have been donated, which is really big. Give some, get some. This semester's donation drive will be April 3rd from 10:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. We're also doing sexual wellness bingo, yay! And then I have Center of the Month for February. Can I get a drum roll? Okay, and the Center of the Month for February is Bobby! For your efforts to uplift your constituents' concerns and voices to our elected representatives. I have a certificate.
Any questions for the pro tempore? Seeing none, congratulations, Senator Escobar. D-Leg report, D-Leg Kaufman.
All right. On Monday, I gave a presentation to the SLCers about the different types of legislation and conducted the same game I gave to y'all during Senate Retreat, which is very fun. And big shout out to my mentee's team for winning. He's there in the back, Youssef. So shout out to his team. Tonight's legislation, first reading, 2 internal bills, 1 resolution, 1 proclamation. Third reading, 2 internal bills, and second reading, nothing.
Any questions for the D-Leg? Seeing none, DISA report, DISA Capinos.
Good evening, Senate. I hope everyone is feeling rested. If you guys have been going through midterms, I hope you guys are staying healthy. I know there's a bug going around. Considering our RSO assignments, if you have any questions about your RSOs, please see me at the end of the meeting, as I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have. Although I'm still assessing new ways to view the master list as court moves into their new system of updating the activated RSOs and the type of RSOs and how they go into that. In terms of our IM sports, I know you guys have been on the edge of your seats because we're hoping to win out there. So if you want to actually click on that form, the pickleball and tennis availability, those are the 2 IMs that we're going to be doing this semester only because they are team focused. And so if you put that form, you can select which days you want to do and which times. And then for our Senate events. So as some of you may know, we have our next event tomorrow. It's going to be a scavenger hunt event, but I want to make sure that I can get as many people as there possible. So there's an inquiry form. If you click on that, if everyone can click on that, regardless if you plan on going or not, If you can just put in what times, and then if you're not going, there's an option there as well. Just so I can figure out what time works best, and that way I can tailor it around you guys' schedule, because I would love to see everyone there, including the SLCers. So when we have that, I'll post the time and everything. And so, yeah. Thank you.
Any questions for the D, sir? Seeing none, I will put that link in you guys' Flare chat so you can fill it out as well. Fiscal Committee caucus time. I have ORS for 15 minutes. I hereby adjourn this meeting at 7:54 p.m. to reconvene at 8:09 p.m. I don't have my gavel. Okay. I hereby re-adjourn this meeting at 8:14 p.m. Senator Benesh?
President voting.
Senator Benesh, President voting, so noted at 8:14 p.m. Fiscal Committee report, CRT Committee, Chair Sherman.
Hi, everyone. CRT didn't meet this week because it would have been at the same time as the Canada Expo, but we will be meeting next week to approve a few allocations because we got a fair amount of reversions.
Any questions for the CRT Committee Chair? Seeing none, FAO Committee Chair Lush.
Today in committee, we went over statutory changes and I sat in on ORS to provide some guidance. Great job, Gabe, on chairing the meeting.
Any questions for the FAO Committee Chair? Seeing none, ORS Committee Vice Chair Casimiro.
Last week, we conducted 2 post-funding reviews and approved 1 VPF. And caucus tonight, we conducted 1 post-funding review that resulted in a sanction.
Any questions for the ORS Committee Vice Chair? Seeing none. Internal Committee caucus time, ENA Committee, 5 minutes. I hereby adjourn this meeting at 8:15 to reconvene at 8:20. Everyone be quiet if you're leaving. All right. No, I know what you're saying. I hereby readjourn this meeting at 8:24 p.m. Internal committee reports, ENA committee chair Lipner.
Bear with me while I pull this up. Hi, everyone. We met this week to further discuss Title VI, Subtitle B changes, and then also met in caucus today to see the appointee Elias Balulehi for College of Engineering and Computer Science seat number 2, which we voted in favorably 7-0. Thank you. Any questions?
Any questions for the ENA chair? Seeing none, GAP committee chair Varela.
Hello, everybody. Not a ton from us today. We just discussed our 2 events coming up, as well as we brought back the GAP newsletter as well because it has been defunct for a bit.
Any questions for the GAP committee chair? Seeing none, Algera committee chair Gaudio.
Good evening, everybody. No news this week. Everybody was a little bit sleepy. If you put in an absence request, it's right there for you. That's all for me.
Any questions for the LJR committee chair? Seeing none, SBA committee chair Teodorescu.
Oh, hey, Senate. How's everyone doing? I hope everyone is having a wonderful week. This week, SBA tabled at Downtown and Rosen to inform students of the election.
Any questions for the SBA chair? Seeing none, confirmations. We have Elias Balulehi for College of Engineering and Computer Sciences seat 2. Is there a motion for speeches, questioning, and debate? Casimiro.
Motion for a 5-10-10.
There's been a motion for a 5-10-10. In a second, any objections? Hearing none. Elias, you may come up to the podium. And then just make sure the green light is on, and then you have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Elias Balulehi. I am a first-year majoring in electrical engineering and minoring in bioengineering at UCF. A little about my involvement here on campus. I serve as one of the marketing directors for the Pre-Med AMSA here on campus. I'm the vice president for my area council for the RHA. And I, for the past year, served as the public relations chair for the Florida State of Circle K International, the collegiate branch of the Kiwanis Club. And outside of UCF, I'm a cadet lieutenant colonel in the Civil Air Patrol, and part of my job there, I represent all 2,200 cadets in the state of Florida on the region council for the Southeast region. And a little bit about why I want to be a senator is that I really value representation. I want to make sure that I grab the viewpoints and the perspectives of those I represent to help better the student body as a whole. There are a lot of issues that go overlooked, which I address in my platform, which is based off of Toyota's motto for how they became such a small car company to the big enterprise they are today. Their motto is Kaizen, which translates to little and small actions to create a big change. Oftentimes with the student body and student government as a whole, sometimes little issues get overlooked because they're seen as little. And I've seen that throughout my years in representing that oftentimes little issues are overlooked. I hope to put more emphasis on the little things because they start piling up and can become a big change for the student body and the university as a whole. And that's all for me. Thank you.
All right. Any questions for this candidate? Chair Teodorescu.
I want to thank you for being here tonight. What committees or caucuses would you like to join? Pending confirmation.
So I do want to be a part of SBA. I do like the representative part of it. I do want to be a part of ORS. I was the treasurer for my high school club and helped raise $21,000 for our competition. And I understand the value of making sure that the money goes in the right places because we had to really scrounge and scrap to get all the money there. And for the caucuses, I'm thinking of the Veterans Caucus. I was talking to some of the ROTC cadets here, and they thought I was one of them until I introduced myself as being part of the Civil Air Patrol. And I might look into government contracting, but they said that my knowledge was interesting. So,
Any other questions? Vice Chair Casimiro.
When you mentioned that you look for the little things that people overlook, that do you have any like examples here in UCF that people overlook?
So oftentimes when we're walking, I notice I live in Lake Claire, and a lot of the students cut through the grass to get to their classes because those 2 minutes do matter. And you often see people use the grass way more than the actual trails that are made there. So it's pointing out the little things that students use that aren't really emphasized, like maybe creating a trail there because it's more convenient for the student body. And one thing I notice is I go into the some of the classroom buildings and I see the little study areas, and there's not a lot of emphasis put on there. And when I got to use them, it made an impact on how I studied and my performance on my last quiz, which I think I did well on. And it's just seeing that students might use an unconventional method, like going through the grass as opposed to the normal trails, and creating a trail there because they use that more often than what was already put there. That's one of the main things I noticed. More students were using the grass. So that'll be one thing I might look into.
Any other questions for this candidate? Senator Rickett?
2 questions if I may, Madam Speaker.
You may.
My first question to the candidate, how many articles are in the UCF Constitution?
There are 14.
Follow on, Madam Speaker.
You may.
For your college, what are some of the primary issues that you see within your college? Some of the issues that your potential future constituents have brought up to your attention.
I noticed that there is at least for engineering students, that they lack a little more public speaking abilities. And when I was attending one of the IEEE's meetings, which is the Electrical Engineering Club, I noticed that the speaker in front, he has a career. He's an electrical engineer, and he said that a lot of electrical engineers nowadays lack that public speaking capability, and a lot of engineering students in general. And that normal, when I don't say normal, I mean the average engineer doesn't have that same ability to advocate for themselves that more charismatic people would have. So maybe developing some programs to help engineers be able to voice themselves better, or develop their public speaking and their advocacy skills so that they're able to sell themselves better in the marketplace, especially with how competitive it is these days.
Any other questions for this candidate? Chair Taylorski?
Move to debate.
There's been a motion to move to debate. In a second, any objections? Hearing none, we are now here to debate. Are there any pieces of debate? Chair Lipner, Vice Chair Casimiro.
Yeah, this candidate is very, very clearly qualified for this position. I'll be voting in favor, just to keep it short.
I'll also be voting in favor. Elias is a resident in Lake Claire, and I've worked with Elias in RJ, and he's been very good.
Senator McAdoo.
I know Elias through pre-med AMSA, and I didn't even know he was interested in being in Senate until I saw him at an SBA meeting, which I think shows how dedicated he is to learning about Senate. And he's also an SLCer. I think he has the qualifications for this, and that I move to vote.
All right, there's been a motion to vote. In a second, any objections? Hearing none, we are now in voting procedures. With a vote count of 34 to 0 to 0, Elias Belulehi has been confirmed for a College of Engineering and Computer Sciences seat 2. Before we clap, Ashley back there will help you find one of the justices so you can do your oath of office, and College of Engineering is the middle table. Okay. Okay. Internal legislation, notes of legislation on first reading. Internal bills 57, 34, and 35 remanded to CRT, and resolution 5718 as well as proclamation 5733 remanded to SBA. Notice of legislation on third reading. First, we have internal bill 5732, updates to Title VI informational sessions by Chair Sherman. You have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
No changes from last week. This just gets rid of the extra informational session that doesn't count towards candidacy, and I yield my time.
Okay, we are now in a period of questioning. Are there any questions on this bill? Seeing none, we are now in a period of debate. Are there any pieces of debate on this bill? Senator Benesh?
Motion to approve.
There's been a motion to approve this by general consent.
I object.
Do you withdraw? Okay. Chair Gaudio.
I'd like to motion to vote on this piece of legislation.
There's been a motion to vote on this piece of legislation and a second. Any objections? Hearing none. One second. We're waiting for Ashley. We have to wait for Ashley. Here you go. Never mind. There's a technical on the phone. Okay, I'll see that as a technical. Chair Whitmer.
Motion to vote.
There's been a motion to vote. In a second, any objections? Hearing none. With a vote count of 31 to 0, internal bill 5732 passes third reading. Next, we have internal bill 5733, updates to Title VI, subtitle A rewrite. E&A Committee Chair Lipner, you have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
Hi, everyone. We saw this on second reading last week, but this is essentially a rewrite for clarity purposes where nothing is added, only changed for a synonym or simply moved around so that way it is more clear. So 602.2, the declaration of candidacy explanation is written in our definitions. So I'm just moving it to add it to a timeline clarity, and then also adding that active campaigning, which is being moved from another portion of the subtitle. For 602.3, which is now the candidate area, this is simply adding some words to make sure that everything is more readable. So like all and receive, and just before the end instead of prior to. And then this big list of everything is now just being reorganized so it's more readable, as opposed to being a one and done list. And then at the very end, these are being moved from a large block of text to a 1 and 2 to mirror the other readability changes. Any questions?
All right, we're now in a period of questioning. Are there any questions? Senator Fawcett?
President voting.
Senator Fawcett, President voting, so noted at 8:37 p.m. Senator Belulehi. President voting.
President voting.
Senator Belulehi, President voting, so noted at 7:37 p.m. Any questions? Well, Senator Hopgood.
For Lipner, this is like a really tiny thing. I do like the list a lot. Why? I might just be reading this incorrectly, but it says so. In 602.3D, it says candidates must complete and receive the following candidate. Why is the and receive in there? And if it is supposed to be there, can we just change the order so it says receive and complete?
It should definitely be that way.
Okay,
Yes.
cool.
Thank you for that catch.
Yeah.
All right, so someone make that amendment. Any other questions? Seeing none, we're now in a period of debate. I will see the apostrophe at the bottom as a technical. And then Chair Lipner.
Motion to see my amendment.
There's been a motion to see Chair Lipner's amendment. And a second, any objections? Hearing none, you have 2 minutes whenever you're ready.
This is simply doing exactly what Senator Hapgood just mentioned, moving the receiver around so that way it matches the more logical flow. Thank you for that.
All right, we are now in a period of questioning. Are there any questions? Chair Luce?
Motion to approve this amendment.
There's been a motion to approve this amendment by general consent.
I object.
Do you withdraw? Okay. D. Circupinos.
I have a quick question because I also might be reading this wrong. But it says in the same section, 602.3D, before the end closing of the declaration of candidacy period, do you feel the need to have the closing in there? I just feel like it might be worded a little confusingly because before that it was prior to, which makes sense for the closing, but.
Thank you for that as well. That should also be stricken out. I believe that was just a clerical error when copying it over from our larger subtitle rewrite.
All right, I'll let you see that amendment as a friendly to your own amendment.
Thank you.
We're still in a period of questioning. Are there any other questions? Chair Lucht?
Okay, so I'm going to strike out the other received. There's 2 receives on the piece of paper or on the thing, unless my thing is not updated.
It looks crossed out on my. Okay, I see the second one crossed out. Are there any other questions? Seeing none, we are now in a period of debate. Are there any pieces of debate on this amendment? Seeing none, we are now in a period of voting. We are not in a period of voting. I'm sorry. And also for all of your reminders, even though I'm sure that this amendment will not be contentious, amendments need a 2/3 vote to pass on third reading. We're not in a period of voting. With a vote count of 36 to 0, these amendments pass. We're still in debate on the bill as a whole. Are there any other pieces of debate? Chair Lipner.
Motion to see Senator Gaudio's amendments as a technical.
There's been a motion. Oh. What is going on over here? Yeah, I'll see that as a technical.
Thank you.
Hold on, they're still fixing it. All right, and that space will also be seen as a technical. Are there any other pieces of debate? Seeing none, we're not in a period of voting on the bill. With a vote count of 36 to 0, Internal Bill 5733 passes with a vote. Yeah, it passes third reading. Advisors report, Ashley.
Happy Thursday, folks. Welcome back. We've reached March, which is a wild thing to say. Not many announcements for me. Shout out to y'all that were catching stuff on the bill today that tells me y'all are reading things, which makes me very happy. I know that committees have been going well, so shout out to y'all that have just been functioning and moving and grooving because I've been seeing y'all do your thing and it gives me less stuff to worry about, which I love. So going right into our National Day of. It is National Cheese Doodle Day. So if that is something that you can partake in for our lactose intolerance folks that actually follow their intolerance, feel free to buy a bag. That's it for me.
Any questions for the advisor? Seeing none, Maite is not here. Miscellaneous business. Okay, I hereby appoint Belulihi to SBA, ORS, Military and Veterans Caucus, and I hereby appoint Chair Lipner to the APIA Caucus. Senator shoutouts. We did like 5. Casimiro.
Shout out ORS tonight. You guys were so nice to me. Shout out ORS tomorrow. I might chair the meeting again. But shout out everybody.
Eli Reed, Senator Banesh, Vice Chair Jones.
I want to give a quick shout out to all of you. I know the presentation earlier was a bit longer than expected. However, I do appreciate your attention, and I really enjoyed that. We got such a nice compliment from Dr. German, who is someone that I greatly respect. I also want to give a shout out to Chair Teodorescu, whose name I can't pronounce ever. I don't know. And then Speaker Courts again for stepping in for the College of Graduate Studies and watching me walk into class late every single day. So thank you.
Horribly late. Senator Benesh? Shout out to you guys for actually keeping the meeting a little bit long this week. I wanted to participate and not come into an empty chamber after work. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to Chair Gaudio, because he always welcomes me back when I appear periodically this semester. So shout out to you, Zach. You're my GOAT. Who else? Shout out to Lipner and Renda, because when I walked in after I got off of work, they were like, "Oh my God, Benesh, we missed you. Where have you been?" So thank you for thinking of me when I'm gone. Shout out to the new senator. Welcome. And yeah, shout out to me because I'm the GOAT.
Vice Chair Jones.
Shout out Vice Chair Casimiro. He did such a good job with the meeting today. Shout out Jimmy too. He did really good minutes. Also shout out Bobby for being Senator of the Month. Shout out Ores and shout out our new senator.
Chair Barilla.
Shout out all of Gap, of course. We love Gap. Awesome. Gap news are so bad, guys. I'm so happy. I love it so much. I'm glad it's back. Shout out the Speaker Courts as always for running the show. Is someone speaking to me? I don't know. Shout out to Vice Chair Paris for being like the best tabler ever. There's some tabling kills at ICTC last week and this week, but she really got under control. Shout out to ORS for caucusing today, and a big shout out to Big 12 basketball refereeing, because oh my God, guys, I was about to blow a gasket when I watched those games. It's horrible.
Ooh, live meeting, by the way. Senator Smith.
I haven't done this in a while. Okay. So many shout outs. Big shout out to all of the College of Arts and Humanities senators. Our dean meeting went so good. I had a great time. Shout out to Chair Teodorescu, Vice Chair Jones, my GOAT hospitality over there. Your support means everything to me. And also Pro Tempore Hamid, thank you for everything. And yeah.
Eli Reed, Chair Teodorescu.
Phew. Okay, I wanted to shout out Chips really quick for having a record-breaking dean meeting lasting 14 whole minutes. That was crazy, but you know what? We got the job done. So shout out, guys.
Alrighty, shout out Gabe first. Chairing the meeting. So proud of you. Shout out Elias. Welcome to SBA. Shout out Anna, of course, the GOAT. Gotta shout him out. Shout out Allie for tabling today. First time tabling. Shout out Benesh. She didn't give me her McDonald's. It's cool. Shout out hospitality. That's it.
No. Vice Chair Perez.
I want to shout out Speaker Courts. This week, she confused me for 2 different colleges, 2 separate occasions. So today I brought my pineapple so that she can't forget. And then also I changed the tabling dates for downtown and Rosen in a matter of 30 minutes last week, and people still showed up. So thank you guys for showing up to that.
Okay, so these are Capinos.
I want to shout out our new senator and our new senators. And I also want to say shout out to the SLCers that are still here. Glad that you're here. Shout out to all the people that did PLC, regardless if you just applied or interviewed or the whole process, just putting yourself out there. It's really great. So shout out to you guys. Shout out to all the people that have been tabling. I haven't been able to come to tabling, but I know you guys do great work. And I know you guys drive and you think about it on the planes and at 3 a.m. So shout out to you guys. And I also just want to give a quick update. I think we will change our time to 6 o'clock for our event tomorrow. So come, bring computers. I won't give any more info, but you should come at 6 p.m. for our scavenger hunt.
All right, Chair Lipner will be the last one.
I've got a list. Sorry, guys. So senators Habgood, Macadia, and D. Sercapino. So you guys had some great debate today. Thank you guys so much. ELA Reed, thank you for all your help with the Sustainability Caucus post. Hospitality, had to give you a shout out. Also, shout out to everyone who's rerunning for their Senate seat. Best of luck with that process as we're getting into that stressful season. And special shout out to everyone else who's graduating in May. We only have 6 more meetings, so let's make them count.
Why would you say that to me? Okay, shout out all of you. Shout out Elias, congratulations. Shout out to the SLCers in the back. Shout out ORS, you guys did great. Shout out ENA, you guys did great. Shout out Senate, you guys did great. Shout out Pro Tem Hamid. You're great.
That was so good.
Thank you. Hamid's Habitat.
Okay, guys, big day today. Guys, okay, for context, I was gonna put this last week, but I wanted to say all of Veronica's pets so badly that I moved it to this week so I would be here. Okay, so these are all of Vice Chair Prez's pets. Okay, so the first groups is the Miami pets. So the Pomeranian is Spike. Supposedly, a client gave him to her dad after Hurricane Irma. Shout out. The turtle, his name is Squirt. He's a red-eared slider turtle. Ooh, that's fun. That her brother won at the fair. I didn't know that they gave away turtles still. And he's also older than Veronica. Unk turtle. The Siamese cat is Dora, and she's our little old lady. Okay, Misu is a tuxedo cat, and he actually passed away a month ago. Oh, so R.I.P. Okay. The lab mix is all my Spanish teacher. Well, not my Spanish teacher, Veronica's Spanish teacher. This is a quote by her, by the way. Veronica's Spanish teacher in 5th grade gave him to her because she was such a star student. That feels crazy to happen. Why did that happen? I feel like that's not right, but okay. Oh, okay. No, she's telling me to wrap it up. Okay. Whoa. Okay. So next are the Orlando pets. So the horse and the goats came with the property. The supposed farm property. The white horse is Bam Bam, and the brown one is Barney. R.I.P. Fred. Wait, who's Fred? Wait, Chad, who's Fred? Okay. The goats are Mary, Jane, and Beth. Shout out. The chickens are called Richard and the girls. No name for the girls, I guess. And they provide Veronica's whole family with eggs. Also, there's too many cats to name. Oh, there's about 10 of them. So we usually just call them whatever color their fur is. Okay, no named cats. Shout out Richard and the girls. Hopefully the girls get their names. But yes, here are the pets.
Okay. Capinos.
Motion to adjourn meeting pending final roll call.
There's been a motion to adjourn this meeting pending final roll call and a second. Any objections? Hearing none, Chair Gaudio.
Paul. Reed.
Present.
Olivia Smith.
Present.
Hagenbuck.
Present.
Casimiro.
Present.
Callis. Cabanos.
Present.
Pison. Sadvika. Jane. Sherman.
Present.
Danae Smith.
Present.
Ali. How do I pronounce your last name?
Belulehi.
Okay. Thank you. You're here. Hamid.
Present.
Kaufman.
Present.
Licht.
Present.
Gentile.
Present.
Rose. Elrock. Fawcett.
Present.
Riggett.
Present.
Phillips.
Present.
Escobar.
Present.
Magadia.
Present.
Rodriguez.
Present.
Longin. Hassanein.
Present.
Wynn.
Present.
Habgood.
Present.
Bonaventure. Perez.
Present.
Alcuda.
Present.
Benesh.
Present.
Candeloro. Quartz.
Present.
Jones. Leon. Matthews.
Present.
McRae. Nurse Medevra.
Present.
Randa.
Present.
Leiva Gonzalez. Simmons.
Present.
Teodorescu.
Present.
Varela.
Present.
Zivin.
Present.
Lipner.
Present.
38.
With a vote count. What? I hereby adjourn this meeting at 8:53 p.m.